Hey, Fisher here. We're here tonight at the Burns Lounge in Northwich for Pixel Lounge. Let's go and see what's going on. Right, so we're here with Ben. Ben is the founder of Pixel Lounge here at the Burns Lounge in Northwich. So what is Pixel Lounge, Ben?
So Pixel Lounge is a gaming lounge where you can come up and play retro board games, Sega games, all different types of console games basically, of all different types from over the eras of gaming, and you can come here and relax and have a good pint and have a good time, and somewhere that after work you've had a long day and you can come and relax here at the Pixel Lounge and play those games that you remember as a kid.
What time do we start?
So we start at 5:30, and that goes until about 10:30 at night. So that's 10:30 at night, not in the morning. But 10:30 at night, at 5:30 at night, at night until 10:30. And so we're open all then. £5 entry, but that gets you a free bottle of Budweiser, free Coke, or a free glass of Prosecco for those ladies out there.
Right. Sounds absolutely brilliant. I was here last week, got some footage which hopefully is playing in the background here. What was your first computer or console? What did you grow up with?
So my first computer of console was... because I'm 26 now, so my first console was the PS1. I remember coming home and my dad had bought this brand new console, the PS1, and the whole aspect of loading it up and that sound of the PlayStation running, and that was my first ever proper console that I remember.
Is that the thing? When you hear that sound,
that sound, and that's why even on the PS4 today, with they've released the home screen, so it had the same sound and same look as it did back then, and you can actually put that on PS4 today, and I still put that on there just so I can remember all those memories back then. So even though it's a modern day console, it's still a classic sound that comes up when you turn the console on.
And there's plenty of classic games available on the PlayStation Store, isn't there?
Loads. A lot of PlayStation this year have announced thousands of classics, and things like Medieval, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, those legends that I remember as a kid being remastered and redone from the ground up.
In HD.
In HD full 1080p, which look incredible.
So was that your era of gaming then, the 32-bit era?
No, definitely.
The what we were in that time, the Sega Saturn, the Sony PlayStation. I think the Nintendo 64 was the other.
Yes, the 64. I remember playing that as a kid in a friend's house. I was very young. The old Mario.
GoldenEye.
Yes, that's the one. I was very young. That wasn't my console; it was someone else's, and I remember begging that the next door neighbours it was to play on their console. Because it was theirs.
It was off topic a bit. Well, it's not off topic really, but GoldenEye and the N64. I don't know if you ever go on the cutting room floor. They found a Spectrum emulator and a lot of Spectrum games hidden in GoldenEye. Every single cartridge had these in there, and nobody knew were there for 25 years. And all of a sudden they dug up and you can actually play them on your Nintendo 64. All the Ultimate Play, the games, the things Rare did back in the 8-bit days. So what's your all-time favourite system then?
My all-time favourite system has to be the first console I ever played, so probably the PlayStation 1.
Had a big library,
just because that was massive. Back in the day you had things like Time Crisis with the old Namco gun. You had the Gran Turismo. That was the major racing game back then, and
Did
things
you play
like
Time
that.
Crisis in the arcades?
I did. I played the ones with the old recoil guns, the black and blue ones, and they were.
How do you think it held up at home compared to the arcade?
It just wasn't the same. There was an aspect of going to an arcade, and that's what we're bringing back here as well. A bit off topic, but coming back here and actually, the arcades back then were a social gathering. You went with your friends and you spent your pocket money and all that type of stuff, and it's similar here. You're coming out, you're spending some of your money to play those classic games, and
it's not really expensive. £5.
No, it's not.
For 4 hours.
Expensive. It's not expensive.
I know a lot of things cost a lot more than that for 4 hours,
and you're getting a free drink
and a drink,
and as long as you want to play. So it's all that type of stuff, and it's coming in and bringing that back, and bringing that arcade feel back as well. And there is something about going to places like this and places like arcades where you can go out and just feel more into the game. And there's other than alone at home, using it gives that aspect back. So that's what I like about arcades.
Talk about arcades. An arcade club in Bury. Have you been?
I've not. No.
On your list?
It's on my list. I will go. I went to.
Highly recommend it. I will highly recommend it.
I will definitely venture up there.
Okay.
There was one in Cornwall that shut down now, and that was called 8-Bit. And that was 2 young guys that opened that in Cornwall, and they were fantastic. The idea behind it, and unfortunately, it just couldn't hold up, and so they had to shut down about 4 years ago.
Cornwall and Newquay is all my memories of arcades. Every holiday we were in Newquay. What was it, 10p a play back then? You don't get that these days. No. It's all ticket machines and All right, so your favourite system's a PS1.
Yeah.
Have you got an all-time favourite game? Can you pick one game out?
Game. That's a difficult one because there was so many that I liked. I mean, I'd probably say there's a game that I loved. See, I'm a big Spyro fan. Like my Spyro, so when that got remastered, that was a big wow to me because I remember loving that type of stuff. And I'd say probably a game called Siphon Filter.
Oh, no,
which they released 3 or 4. It was quite a long series that they released, but I do remember playing that quite a lot as a kid and having to get. I was too young, so I had to get my dad to finish off the harder levels, because I couldn't do it. But yeah, I would say Siphon Filter
is get stuck and they want me to do the next bit.
No, it was now you go back in and you think there was this is dead easy now, but as a kid it was dead hard. And there was one game out there, I don't know if you remember Hogs of War.
Yes.
Now Hogs of War as a kid I really struggled with, and I found an original copy a few months back, and I've played that recently, and I think, good God, why did I find it so hard as a child? But it was a really difficult one so that I would say Spyro is my number one game as well, because that is when
my number one game goes back to the 8-bit era. A game called Chaos on the Spectrum, Battle of the Wizards. It's available on Android. You can download it for Android if you have an Android phone. It's on or at least it was, don't know if it still is. So where's the retro gaming point? Where does retro gaming begin? Is it 1 generation back, 2 generations back, PS2, PS1?
I think retro begins, the old Space Invaders and Pac-Man era.
Yeah. No, I mean, if we go, say like we're in the modern stage now, do we go back to PS3? Is that retro? Or do we have to go back to PS2? Is that retro? Or do we have to go back?
I'd say even further.
You think further?
Even further than PS1. That's when retro
class
began.
PS1 as retro yet?
I wouldn't say yet, because I think even though it is classic, I'd say it's classic, classic retro. I'd say the retro stuff would begin before PS1. I think because I think PS1. They're on the 4th series now, so and even Xbox and stuff. They're on. They're 1. They've gone back to calling it 1. Don't know why, but I'd say even before that, because relatively they're 2000s eras. So even before then, I would say if you said to someone nowadays, what is retro? They'd probably say before they'd be mentioning Space Invaders. They would be mentioning Pac-Man, and that would be an era way before the PlayStation.
Would you describe it perhaps as the games you played till you died, rather than the games you played till you beat?
Probably, yeah.
That's interesting. I agree with that, actually. I think games have changed. Games everybody completes a game now. But in the retro era,
it just kept on going.
It was the elite. The elite completed a game.
Yeah.
And now everybody can, because you just have your save points and your restarts, and you go back to it until you beat it. It's more like an interactive movie than a game.
Yeah, and I feel that there's even though there is skill on games back then, you had a game years ago, and going back to that PlayStation era, but when they released games like that, it was skill that got you through. Like Crash Bandicoot, the original one, that was a skilled game. You weren't getting past Crash level, island level 1, until you were an actual skilled player. And even today on their remastered version, it's still a skillful game. And I think that's what a lot of games that have released recently have lost that touch. They've gone to more stories, more elaborate stories, but more gameplay. It seems to be over. It seems to be very quick.
That's what I was going to say. How often do you see the words game over?
Game over. You see that quite a lot. You finish you start the game, and by an hour or 2 into it, you finish the story and you think, oh, that's a bit short. But years ago, again, it went on and on and on, and you got a lot for your money. Now, modern day games and stuff, yeah, they cost a lot, and yes, they are very good. And how we've gone with gaming, is amazing. Think of how far gaming has gone. But it's definitely, I would say, lost that touch of how long you can play the game for and the skill required to play that game.
But I think it's great. It was we were here last week. I was playing on the little SNES Mini, and Star Fox 2. A game that's been lost in the sands of time has suddenly resurfaced, and it's I don't think it holds a candle to the original Star Fox, unfortunately, in my opinion. But it was nice to see. It was nice to see that sort of bit of lost history there that we otherwise have
dead and gone. And and the good thing is that people like Nintendo and like Sony and like Xbox are now looking and actually respecting that people want to play classic games, and they're bringing back things like Star Fox, and they're bringing back the old games instead of just shelving them and saying goodbye. They're actually remastering them, and that's a really nice thing to do. So they might feel, I mean, the little SNES Mini, it looks similar, but controllers were a bit lighter, I think.
I think you can tell it's emulated. It's not quite the same
what it was,
original,
but it gives you a tester of what it's.
Kids who don't know the original, I think will absolutely love it. I absolutely love playing that. So, have you got anything special up your sleeve for future Pixel Lounge nights? Definitely.
We have loads up our sleeves. So we have the idea of possibly putting a virtual reality system up here. Now, obviously, that depends on how we've only been open one night so far, so it depends on how this goes. But we are thinking of investing in virtual reality, so the next type of gaming. And I've personally had a go on that, and that is something else. When you are actually inside the game, is very, very strange indeed.
I had a go at Arcade Club. One go, and I was absolutely. I was at the point of wanting to go and buy a VR system. Just because of that.
I mean, I've got. I've had to go on two. One that HTC have invented, and you actually walk around in virtuality, and the PlayStation version where you are just surrounded, still moving around using their Move controllers, but the impressive one.
Arcade Club is the Oculus Rift.
The Oculus Rift, so which is, again, they're all fantastic. Oculus, HTC, and PlayStation have really looked into this next level of gaming, this virtual reality, and that's something what we're gonna hopefully do.
I think that's where the future of gaming lies. Then virtual reality, maybe even.
I think even
into reality.
You walk and feel what they feel in the game, and I think if you there's games where. There's heat coming from it. You actually run in virtual reality. You work up a proper sweat boxing in an area or something like that, and you actually do feel you're in the game. And I think that the
Nintendo's new Fit program, whatever they call it, Fit game, virtual Fit.
That's how I think that's how gaming's going. But if we can get something like that up here and the virtual reality system, I think that is where we've got something. And not to mention that we've also got. We're testing of having online capabilities up here, so people can come up here and play things like Fortnite against world players worldwide. They don't have to be, here they can play, with friends at home if they couldn't come down, or if they live at the other side of, the country. So online is a big thing that we're going to recently do, and VR is another thing that we're thinking of doing. So again, it's going to probably take some time to get there, but it's because it's a big investment for us to do that. But it's something that we're going to definitely think about rolling out here. And if that's what you guys want to see, put it in the comments below. And
you tempted yet? Come on. Hey, get down. Monday nights. Can we follow you on Facebook?
You can, it's called the Pixel Lounge on Facebook. This big logo here, this one.
That's what it looks like.
That's what you want to be looking at. Give us a thumbs up, and give us a little, if you visited us, rate us a 5 out of 5, or a 4 out of 4, or a 3 out of 3, whatever you thought our Pixel Lounge was like. Put a nice little comment or something like that. Put comments what you want to see, what you thought.
Can you buy the t-shirts yet?
You can't buy the t-shirts yet, no. But if you want to buy the t-shirt, again, put that down here. We want to see what...
You want a Pixel Lounge t-shirt?
Yeah.
Put it in the comments.
Do you want that? What do you want? What do you want? That's what we want to find out, is what you guys want here. What would make you come to us more often? And, and what would make you come back and back and back? And do you want to see something like you know, a VR system here, well, tell us in the comments and we'll see what we can do. And you know, it's only by you guys saying what you want to see we can get that here, and you know, and invest into the right things, and then obviously you guys benefit from it.
Well, I'll certainly be here Monday night. Might not be here every week, but I'll be trying to get done, because it was great fun last week. It was brilliant fun, and the feedback I think you got from people at the time, you did a live video and they were all saying it's really good, they really enjoyed themselves. Come on now.
Yeah. No,
come on, let's get some multiplayer action going. Come and take us on a Mario Kart. Say you want to challenge someone. You know, any game.
Now we're getting another thing to mention is we are getting Game, the retailer. From, you know, Game the retailer and stuff. They're hopefully coming down in the next couple of weeks, and they're going to be running competitions and events, and maybe they'll bring games that we don't have or in exclusive, things like Anthem, things like you know, Division 2, you know, that they'll bring along and they'll show you, and they've got stuff to show you. So they're going to join up with Pixel Lounge soon and do little events from time to time here. So keep an eye out for that on our Pixel Lounge page, because any game announcements will be put on there. But hopefully with Elba coming down, so even more of a reason to come down, because we're getting a big game retailer, and they can come down and hopefully get, you know, exclusive insights of games that aren't even released yet. So you can play that first here and play the betas here. So again, that's another reason why it's good to come down on a Monday night, because things like that could happen. 5:30 till 10:30. £5 to get in. Free drink. Lots of gaming to be had. And if you get fed up with the video games, there's the board games too, and I think there's even some handhelds that'll be here again. So folks, get down to Pixel Lounge, Baron's Lounge in Northwich, opposite Brat's, on the main street, just up from McDonald's. If you get hungry afterwards, you got somewhere for some food. This is not a sponsored video. No.
Thanks very much, Ben.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Seeing you tomorrow.
And we will have another good night of the craziest and busiest and wildest, funniest night of the week. So you don't want to miss it, guys. Come down and we'll show you what Pixel Lounge is all about.
Right. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video. Hopefully some more highlights of Pixel Lounge. Hi folks, thanks for watching my video. You made it to the end. Well done. If you like what you just saw, why don't you leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share my video, do all the above. But whatever you do, I hope to see you in the next one. Hasta la vista.